your girl D and Mel, and we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Man charged with a felony for reckless conduct for not disclosing his HIV status. Oh, this is a tough one, you guys, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it, and then I'll comment.
Life these days
She's supposed to be here right now.
looks a lot like reminiscing for sisters Tammy Hammonds and Karen Young.
I like that one too.
In 2017, doctors first diagnosed their mom, Denise Brody, with breast cancer. She went into remission, but 2 years later, the cancer came back, this time attacking her lungs.
The decline was so rapid. Are you comfortable?
After years of on and off hospital extended stays and chemotherapy, the cancer had cleared. But Denise somehow was still sick. The family had new doctors run new tests again for everything. Karen recalls doctors determining her 65-year-old mom was dying, but not from a malignant mass.
Then they end up calling us, telling us that she's not going to beat this. You need to take her off the ventilator, and she's not going to make it because she has HIV, she has AIDS.
Denise died April 2nd, 2022, and based off her blood work,
She was in full-blown AIDS after having untreated, undiagnosed HIV for at least 5 years.
the person who gave it to her was not unknown. Criminal records allege it was her husband, Cleveland Brody.
Mr. Brody, you are charged at this time with the sole count of reckless conduct, HIV-infected person. It is a felony charge. Would you like the court to read your warrant aloud? The warrants read, this was no accident, instead intentional. Detectives claim medical files reveal Brody knew of his status since 2006. The charging documents cite Brody did endanger by consciously disregarding a substantial and unjustifiable risk that his act or omission of not telling his wife his status resulted in her death. How long have you lived in Conyers?
10 years.
Inside the courtroom on July 11th, Denise's entire family anxiously watched the bond hearing.
I am going to deny bond, finding you at risk of flight.
Outside the court,
Like, how heartless do you have to be to knowingly know that you have this disease and not even tell your significant other? And they're going through all this sickness, and time to time they sick, in and out the hospital, in and out the hospital. They thinking it's one thing, and it's totally something different. And you're not even saying anything. You just sitting back there and watching your wife die, and you not even telling her anything. This is a sick individual, such a sick person. And I know they said let go and let God, but I would want to just dive in there and do some things. Because this is just so horrible. And knowingly, he already knew. He knew since 2006. Like, how long have they been together? Because they said in 2017 about being diagnosed with cancer and trying to get through those things. So how long had they been together for her to have this? And who else? Ain't no telling who else he done messed around and spread it to, or what other secrets he done had besides that. It's so heartless, and it's just an upsetting story to me. What do you think?
I think he wanted her to have HIV, period. He was aware of it, and he just, didn't want to tell her. So basically, he deserves what he deserves right now. That's all I can say.
All right, let's get back into it.
room, they breathe a somber sigh of relief for a case that only came after the family's investigation led to Rockdale County Sheriff's Office doing its own.
I do not think my mother was the first.
As the hearing wrapped for one charge, prosecutors filed another. New warrants detail a second victim just accused the 61-year-old of not disclosing his status and having unprotected sex with her. What's more, the sheriff's office says investigators have reason to believe there were other victims. If Brody were convicted of felony reckless conduct HIV-infected person, he would only face up to 5 years. It used to be up to 10 years, but advocacy groups like George Equality fought to change the law last year with SB 164 to decriminalize and destigmatize HIV status. But the group argues this new law wasn't intended for cases like Brody's, who police say knew his status and had criminal intent.
So the particular instance in which someone would be arrested and charged with HIV transmission without disclosure was very, very rare.
Georgia Equality's HIV policy manager and former prosecutor Chauncey McGathery maintains most often HIV spreads because people do not know their status. Georgia ranks second in the country for new HIV diagnosis. The metro area is of specific public health concern. Fulton sits at the 6th highest U.S. county for new cases. People aren't dying from HIV and AIDS. Like, this is not a death sentence, especially in 2023.
Absolutely, and that's critical information.
It did not have to be a death sentence for Denise either.
If he had just gave her that one courtesy, just to tell her that, you know, to test herself for it, and that could be it, and she could have gotten treatment.
Like, I just could not imagine, like, you know, just being married and my husband knowing this and not saying anything to me, and I'm just in and out the hospital, and I'm not knowing what's going on, and they're saying this one thing and it's really another, and I'm sitting here sick half to death, you know what I mean? And then to find out it's this, and you wasn't even considerate enough to tell me, you just sitting there watching me waste away. Like, come on, like, how heartless is this of a person? And then it's a second victim. That's why we need, you know, we need as individuals to know, to wrap it up at all times, and to know your status. That's why it's so important to know your status. I feel like it should be mandatory that people get tested, that people know their status, and, you know, what they have, what they don't have, you know, it, because people are just out here loose like this guy. And also, I feel like, you know, the lady as well, you know, even though she was just with her husband, she still should have been getting tested as well too. You know, they've been together for so long, because you just never know what could arise, and just different things. There's different ways that you can catch different things just besides intercourse. You can still catch different types of STDs and things, or whatever else that's out there, besides just having intercourse. So I just feel like people should just automatically get checked and know their status. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, you can catch HIV through needles, through anything, you know, through the healthcare system, not just by intercourses. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's.
Yeah. So, anyways, you guys, what is your opinion on this? This is just such a crazy case, and it's just sad and so heartbreaking. Like I said, just being with someone and not even knowing. But like I said, like, just seeing this should open up a lot of people's eyes, just in general, to just go out, no matter if you're married or not, or if you're just messing with that individual or not, to just know your status, to just be getting checked up, and to just know. All right, you guys, please like, share, subscribe, and of course I'll be back with some more. Ciao.